Alright, good morning everybody. I was doing a video a little bit ago, just kind of a I'm back to YouTube video, and I was getting ready to start on morning chores and decided, since the camera's already out and I'm talking about doing better at getting YouTube videos done, I'll hurry and do a ranch update. So just gonna go as fast as I can through some stuff here because a lot's changed. Like I said, in the last 2 years, was on a 5-2 schedule and was trying to get a lot of this done, and quite honestly just wasn't getting it done, didn't have the time for it. Part of that, my oldest kid happens to be my stepson, and so every other weekend we got to go out, pick him up, and so my 5-2 schedule turned into more of a 5 days work, 2 days gone, 5 days work, 2 days to get stuff done. And it just wasn't working. So now that we're back on this week on, week off schedule, I'm working when my wife goes and picks the boy up from his dad's house, and the 6 days I'm off, and I'm here usually, unless we got rodeo or something going on. But anyways, we're gonna just kind of swing this camera around. So this round pan's new. These are Preferred economy panels, so I think it's 11 total, and then one over here with the walk-through gate. So this horse here, he's actually got a bunch of blood on him. He just got castrated last night, so I had to put this pen up pretty quick. I was gonna build one out of wood, and this colt, we were worried he was gonna start breeding the mares, and so we picked up these economy panels, got this round pen built, put him in here till we could get him castrated, and he'll have to stay in here a little bit. After they're castrated, they have one breeding left in them, and yeah, their hormones won't level out for like 30 days. And granted, this is all just based off, the vet I go through. Other vets may say different things, and I'm not going to argue with anybody on it because it doesn't matter that much. But he's going to stay in here at least for a little bit, make sure he heals up, he doesn't tear anything open, he doesn't break his blood clots loose and start bleeding out super bad. Now the one thing is, you got to keep them active and moving afterwards, or they can actually swell up. So that's another reason for being in the round pen. I'm going to get in here, work with him a little. He's actually been really good to work with, had a really good mind, and man, trying to catch him yesterday to go get him castrated, it was like it was a totally different horse. I think he just, I think that testosterone and everything was kicking in, and he was not the friendly little colt we've had for the last year. I think he was starting to turn into a pretty fiery little beast, and so yeah, he's definitely going to get worked over the next couple of days, because like I said, he has to anyways. We got to get in there today, clean all the rest of the blood off of him. Kind of didn't worry about it last night while everything was healing up, but yeah, he's got blood down his legs, and so we got to get him healed up. Now we'll swing over here to the next thing. So I think I've shown before, I don't know, so we'll just kind of cover this, but this shed, I moved over here on the edge of this cement pad this was all here before, and somebody had like a little dog box built inside this. Well, I took the edge of the dog box out, and you can't really see in there, but this actually goes in, and about 3/4 of this shed, the goats can go in. I've got some elevated beds built, and this fence has either chicken wire or this 1x2 square wire all the way around this section that these two nannies and this baby are in. So each one of these nannies had a single baby this year. It was their first year breeding. One was stillborn. This one wasn't, obviously. She's about 2 weeks old. I bred these goats super late this year. It was their first year. They're still pretty small, so I really pushed it back clear until December, actually, before we dropped them off with a stud, or with the billy goat. So but they're in a separate pen here. Now I do want to point out, all this hay that's sitting here is only a month's worth of hay that these goats have kind of wasted. Now all this hay is actually going to get cleaned up and moved over into, we'll walk over here, this is a little mini orchard I've built, we're going to use all that hay that's in there, spread it out as some ground cover, some mulch. This is a milking stand I've built completely out of scratch. Wife has been milking the goats. She put this camera around, so she makes goat milk soap. So she was planning to milk them anyways. We were kind of thinking about bottle feeding them. Well, we were planning to, but where it's just the one baby, yeah, we're just kind of letting that baby feed from mom just fine. We go in there and hang out with her quite a bit, and we're milking the other goat that had the stillborn. Like I said, she makes the goat milk soap, so she needs lots of goat's milk. Sorry, it sounds like mail lady maybe just pulled up. I can't tell. I can just hear a vehicle parked up front. So, but anyway, so part of the reason I brought that up is here is the big pen. So this divider here between the boys and the girls has only been put up for, like I said, about a month. This hay that's kind of right here is just what's been fed in the last like 2 days. So I actually went and got 2 Kune pigs, and there's a bunch of Russian olives and cottonwoods in here, which I've talked about before. I feed all these trees I cut down on the property. I feed to the goats, and then the goats, once they're done eating what they want off of it, I take the trees out and I will delimb them. And we have a fire pit that we do fires here at the house, me and the boys and the wife. But I keep all the bigger stuff, and that's what we use for firewood through the winter in our wood burning stove in the house. So part of the reason I'm pointing out the hay though is I bought 2 Kune pigs this winter and put them in here because normally the goats waste so much hay, and especially in the winter, as soon as that hay's wet, they've laid on it, they've peed or pooped on it, they just won't eat it. And winter before last, I mean, I had to go in and dig out hay that was that deep of wasted hay. And again, it's not exactly wasted hay. I could use a feeder and it would lower that, but I use it for mulch, I use it in the garden, I use it for compost, so it's not wasted. But at the same time, it just sucks to have to clean up that much just piles of hay, and it's moldy. And so I got these Kune pigs this winter. They can survive off pasture, they can survive off hay, they don't get very big, they have smaller noses, so they don't root as much as regular pigs. And I just heard all these really great things, and I don't really want to deal with pigs, but at the same time, you know, point of the property, it's hard because, I mean, there's so many little words out there that people use to describe things anymore that you never, I never know how people pick what they're labeling stuff, but like homesteading, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're doing here. Yeah, point being, right? Being able to have our own pigs, have our own pork, and again, just help clean up some of that wasted hay. And this pen that the boys are in, this whole pen used to be one, and that's, I mean, I haven't raked anything in here in the boys' pen at all. They've ate all of that wasted, what would normally be somewhat wasted hay. Now, I took them to get butchered yesterday before taking the horse to get castrated, because those Kunes are a haired pig. They're all black, and it's getting hot. It was 94 yesterday. I mean, it's just getting hot. And, you know, I have obviously a couple little things in here. This little shelter usually has canvas on the top, but the goats have ripped the canvas back, so like they can get in there out of the rain because it's a canvas, water treated canvas over the top. They can get under here, they get up under this tree. Before the girls were separated for having babies, everything could get in this shed. So I mean, there was plenty of cover, but it just started getting so hot they just seemed miserable. I was just pouring we'll walk over here, tons of water out, overfilling both these water bowls, and just tons of water, and they were still jumping into the water bowls. So I just decided it was just too hot for them, and the plan was always to butcher them, you know, late spring, early summer. So we just kind of, I just decided it was time. But the point is, you know, regardless of how the meat turns out, because that is one thing with the kuni-kunis is people talk about it's fatty, they don't get as big, so there's not as much meat. But regardless of how much meat I really get out of them, man, it worked out great so far. They fought with the goats a little, not super bad, and now that I have this dividing pen for the nanny goats, I've ran chicken wire all the way around so the baby goats can't get out, but also once I can move the goats all into this bigger pen together, I'm actually going to get some meat chickens, put them in that smaller pen, butcher them, and then plan is kind of late fall, I'll go get 2 more kuni pigs, put them in there, keep them separated from the goats for a little bit, just, you know, let them kind of acclimate to each other, and then I'll have 2 kuni pigs again for this winter to help eat hay. Now granted, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm sure people can figure out what I'm talking about. Now, the little mini orchard I built, so I built this, this is just hog panel, treated posts and boards. I've got, so this is an apple, that's an apple, one's, I think this one's Red Delicious, that one's a 3-in-1, 4-in-1 apple combo. I think it's got like, I can't remember right now off the top of my head. This is a pear and a plum, and then there's going to be a peach right here in the middle. I'm still waiting for the peach I want to come into the nursery that I normally use. We've got some herbs, rosebush, honeysuckle, rosebush, and then I've thrown out some wildflower and grass seed in here, just trying to get this to fill in. Like I said, I'm going to mulch this with all that hay in the girls' pen. Was going to put a beehive in here. Still trying to decide if we're going to put a beehive in here or locate it somewhere further. That's why that's in here, was to keep it up off the ground. Might still do that, I don't know. This is where just a minute ago I did that video. Dog's pen is still kind of the same. I've got to redo it again. I tried this 1x2 wire, and the German Shepherd, as you can see, can jump up all the way over the top, and she can smash it down, and she can climb the cattle panel. So I've got to probably go back to chain link. I just don't like the look of chain link so much. Next to them we've got our normal chicken run, and their little setup over here. So they are just, there's a dozen laying hens. That's all they're for. Not really planning to do any meat birds over here. We'll see how things go. This whole section here is going to be the garden, which I need to get done. And then I'm cutting all these trees out. That's why there's a bunch of stuff knocked down. I'm going to cut all this out and then extend the garden that way as well. So it'll run all the way down to here and then kind of all the way around. My tiller broke, so we haven't made it that far yet. We've got gates over here that I've installed on the culvert, so now I can let animals out and not worry about them getting up on the road as much. The canal runs right along here. We'll walk up here. So we've also got 2 cherry trees that are planted over here. And there's going to be, I'm going to plant something else right here. I haven't decided what. So I'm going to have 3 fruit trees kind of outside the orchard, and then the rest of the stuff's in the orchard for the reason of we let the goats out a lot to feed just on the property, and I don't want them eating my fruit trees. So that is why there's going to be some gates on that. I just haven't got the gates built, but we're walking away from the water here a little bit so you can hear me a bit better. But the fruit trees out here, I will have to build something around them. It'll probably just be a small, like, no climb fence just to keep the goats from getting into the fruit trees out here. But we've got, like I said, we've got a gate out here, and water's pretty high, and so the horses don't really mess with it. The goats really don't mess with it. We're going to take a shortcut here around the corner of this, and we've got 10 trees planted out here now that are evergreens. We've got asparagus coming in all over the place up and down this canal, but those trees there are Thuja Green Giants. They're actually an evergreen tree that can grow up to like 5 feet a year. So, and they're planted close enough, they'll grow into each other almost like a shrub. And as those grow in, I'm going to cut out more of this outside tree stuff, cottonwoods, Russian olives. I really just want to cut all of this stuff down and get rid of it. I just don't like those trees as much. And yeah, have an evergreen kind of shrub tree line, I guess, to block the front of the house, help block noise. Because that's the other part with the cottonwoods, Russian olives, is in the winter, they all go away, the foliage goes away, and it doesn't really do me any good. Whereas those evergreens will do that a lot better. That's a horse run I'm starting to build there. There's my new horse, but this run, we're going to be able to put horses out there and kind of separate them out of this. So I've started watering out here every morning just a little bit. I don't have anything planted, but this paddock, they've cleared it out with anything growing because they're in there so much. There's normally, all 4 horses are normally in here. Came in with the Mini X. My gelding died. He's buried down there, but when we had the Mini X, we cleared out everything. This used to be super overgrown. I mean, trees and undergrowth and saplings, and so we've cut all that out. So this is my new horse. Me and her have had some battles. She's broke my ribs already and ducked me off a couple times. So I can throw my kids on her, lead her anytime, anywhere. She's just fine. She packs great, but she does not like getting told what to do when you're riding her. So yeah, she's mine. Nobody else in the family wants to ride her. This smaller horse is supposed to be for the kids. We got her, and she just, I don't know, she's real spooky, real scared, real reactive. So gonna try to get her calmed down a lot more so that we don't have to worry about the kids on her as much. And then the other horse is not actually here right now. She was doing barrels with our niece. It's actually their horse, and we keep her here 99% of the time, but her horse got hurt, so she needed her for barrels for a minute, and we got to go pick her back up because yeah, she's done with her. We just haven't gone and picked her up. We're gonna go ride Monday, and we'll bring her home Monday. And then back here on the back part of the property, I'm actually, this fence here, and I've ran out of these rails, which is why the run and this fence are just top rails right now, just getting everything lined out. But we're gonna run this all the way across, put a gate. There's a gate here, kind of overgrown. That way we can turn the horses loose in the back half of the property once we get the fence finished. None of this property when we got it was fenced in. This right here behind the house drops off all the way down to the bottom to our pond. We own 10 acres here, but none of it was fenced in. So having to build fence all over the place, and it's super rocky here where we live, so it's kind of been a chore. But yeah, there's the horses. Like I said, we're just doing a quick update of everything, and yeah, that's really where I'm gonna end this, because this is a really long video and I was supposed to be doing chores, so all the animals are kind of pissed that I'm out here and not feeding them. So I'm gonna hurry and feed everything and get the water moved around. I gotta water the 2 cherry trees, gotta water the orchard. I actually water it all with one of those little mini soaker balls. The evergreens out front, I water with a 5-gallon bucket by hand out of the creek and, well, the canal. But yeah, I got a lot of chores to go. I still gotta make coffee, I still gotta make breakfast. Told the kids I'd make honey sourdough pancakes. So yeah, it's time for me to shut up and get after it, guys. So have a good morning, and we'll do some slower, more explained, thought out videos as we go.